Amaswati, Dumelani Amaswati. Good evening, comrades and friends. Today we are focusing on Swaziland. It is the duty of every African on the continent to offer solidarity and support to our brothers and sisters who are undergoing a regime of dictatorship. We are talking about Swaziland. And for those of you Zambians who are wondering, why am I so concerned about Swaziland? Well, to begin with, about the issues and the struggles of neighboring countries. Because each other. Our spirit is one of oneness. Our spirit is one of Ubuntu. Caring for one another. And for another reason, the looting or the thieving government here in Zambia, the PF, have got assets. They've got assets in Swaziland. They built their retirement houses in Swaziland because we are retiring them on August 12th. They have built their assets, their houses, their massive mansions. They have stolen money from Zambia and invested it in Swaziland. They have then invested money, stolen in Zambia and invested into MTN Swaziland. We know about all those scandals. One of them even has a golf course in Swaziland. So we are concerned about the struggle in Swaziland because once the people of Eswatini, we are concerned about Swaziland. We want those mansions that have been built in Swaziland by the PF thieves. Those golf courses which have been built in Swaziland by the PF. We want those assets repossessed by the new government of Swaziland once the people win the struggle and from the throne. We also know to say that there are dealers, corrupt dealers in Swaziland who have equally got investments here in Zambia. A company called Inyati, it's a construction company, and a company called Inyati, incorporated and based in Swaziland, was given a contract to construct the Ndola Kitwe, Ndola Mufria road. Up to now, there's just sand, there's just gravel. There's nothing on that road. 50 kilometers of gravel, yet they were given a contract by the PF government to construct that road. So you see, even in Swaziland, you have contractors who are thugs. We want to pay the people of Zambia the money that they have stolen together with their counterpart thieves here in Zambia. That is why we are concerned about Swaziland. Now, what has been happening in Swaziland? In case you have been missing out on what has been happening in Swaziland, there has been a struggle. It's been going on for a month, where the people of Swaziland rose up and said, enough of King Mswati. We don't want a monarchy. We don't want to be ruled by a king who has just been there to enrich himself, enrich his wives, enrich his concubines, and enrich his clan, basically. They said enough of the monarchy. The Swazi people, Amaswati, have suffered enough. Poverty has been rising, unemployment has been rising. There is a total breakdown of the rule of law, total zero service delivery. They want change. For 33 years, they've been ruled by a monarchy. They want change. And they marched for change. And unfortunately, over 100 people, Amaswati, innocent citizens, were killed in the process. But they did not stop in the struggle. And I'm urging you, Amaswati, do not quit the struggle. Mamelani, Madoda. Mamelani, listen, my friends. In a struggle, you are allowed to rest. In a struggle, you are allowed to rest. The only thing that you are not allowed to do in a struggle is to quit. No country ever gained independence or freedom or democracy if the founding fathers or the revolutionaries of that particular country quit. I know you have suffered heavy losses. You have suffered many deaths. Over 150 Amaswati killed. You have suffered a lot of this. But if you give up now, it means that the sacrifices of those people that have died, whose blood has been shed by the butcher of Umbabane, King Mswati, it means that that blood would have been in vain. And I'm encouraging you, comrades. I've got personal friends there. Comrade Abigail Jele, of the SUDF. I've got many comrades there, and I'm well updated. And they have been watching, and we have been watching, as Zambia, as Africa, as Uganda, as Tanzania, because it will delight us, it will make us happy to see a dictator of a king fall in Swaziland, because it gives us hope that even here in Zambia, the dictator that has been stealing elections and ruling us with force, with violence, it gives us hope that that dictator too can fall and will fall. That is why we keep eyes on Swaziland. Now, last Friday, Swaziland had the mother of all matches. Political parties, of course, political parties are banned, but these are parties that defy those bans. They organized for a massive protest in Swaziland, a nationwide protest. They organized for that. Under the threat of force, under the threat of being shot by the military and the police, they still organized that mother of all matches last Friday. Of course, it was executed, but Mswati's government tried their tricks to derail that program, to discourage Mswati from turning out in numbers to protest against the brutal regime of King Mswati. King Mswati called for what he says is a, what do they call it? A Sibaya. He called for Sibaya. In short, a Sibaya is like an Indaba, a meeting where you call people to your village and say, come, we discuss the issues. Now that Mswati is smelling defeat, now that Mswati is smelling being overthrown from his golden stool, he called for Sibaya. On the day that the mother of all matches was supposed to happen, he called a Sibaya, trying to divide and rule the Revolutionary Front of Swaziland, the people who want democracy. But it did not work. The march went ahead. But what were the results? Africa wants to know what happened after the mother of all marches. What happened? Well, what has happened is what usually happens in all struggles. The struggle in Swaziland has suffered a dip because Mswati is determined to hold on to power at all costs, even at the cost of murdering more Mswati. It will take a lot of energy, courage, and perseverance to overthrow King Mswati and his spoiled brat of a daughter, Skanyiso Dlamini. It will take tears, sweat, and blood to remove Mswati from that golden stool of his. In fact, you need 3 things, Mswati, to remove to Mswati. These 3 things are needed in every country where there's a dictator. In every country where you have a dictator, whether it's a king or elected a demagogue, whether you have a king, a queen, or whatever it is, you need 3 things to remove them. Even in Uganda, they need those 3 things. Number 1, you need an excavator. You need an excavator to dig around that throne or seat of power. Dig around that throne and leave it isolated. Next thing, you need a crane. A crane to lift that dictator off the stool. You lift off the dictator off the stool and put him in the 3rd thing that you need, a tipper truck. So you need an excavator, dig around that stool, weaken the position. Then you need a crane to lift him up, because he's not going to live. You literally have to lift him up with a crane. Then put him in a tipper truck and take him wherever outside the country. I think you may take him to Lesotho because he's got a good friend, a fellow king of his in Lesotho. I don't know how happy the people of Lesotho are being ruled by king, but I know they are best friends. Maybe take him to Lesotho. Here in Zambia is not welcome. So those are the things that you need. I'm telling you, if you give up the fight now, when it seems as if all is lost, you'll be taking yourselves 10 years backwards. You can rest, I've said you can rest in the revolution, but don't rest too long. You must reorganize yourself and begin to press again. Now, Mswati has decided that the pressure is too much, and what does he do? He has appointed a new prime minister. Mswati has appointed a new prime minister, as if that solves the problems that he's facing, as if that satisfies the revolutionary people of Swaziland who want democracy. I don't know if Mswati has got wax in his ears, but I think it was very clear. It's very clear for Zambians, it's very clear for South Africans, for Congolese, for Ugandans. It's very clear where we stand from. We have heard that the Swazi people want a republic. They want a democratic regime. They want a leadership which they elect, not one which is appointed. But Mswati, in his own thinking, I don't know, thinks that the people of Swaziland will be assuaged or they will be pleased by him picking a puppet of a prime minister. To do what? The people of Swaziland don't want that prime minister. They want their own elected leader. That's what they want. So this move of Mswati picking a prime minister to do laundry work for him is not going to work. It's not going to work. And you, the people of Swaziland, must reject it. You must speak out against it. Mswati will use all kinds of tactics to make you think that he's listening to you. Meanwhile, he's not listening to you. Just in the past 5 days, what has he given you? Death, more death and deception. That's what he has given you. He has given you death and deception. What death? This police commissioner of yours, what's his name? You call him National Commander of Police, William Dlamini. William Dlamini is a murderer. William Dlamini is a puppet and a stooge. He's a hopeless commissioner. 2 people were killed just in the past 5 days. 2 more people were killed on top of the 150 that have been murdered by the forces of Mswati. 2 more people were killed at a funeral. They were mourning their fellow comrades and friends and brothers who were killed. And then this police officer goes to the funeral and shoots in the crowd, killing 2 more people. Instead of giving you freedom, he has given you blood. Is this the kind of person you still want to have in power? I doubt it. So, Mswati, Dlamini, William, Commissioner of Police, the PM, what's the name of the PM? Sipho Cleophas. Sipho Cleophas, Prime Minister of Swaziland, is a hopeless choice for a PM. That seat has been vacant for a reason. Because Mswati does not want any person who challenges his power. Quite alright, he handpicks that Prime Minister. But that Prime Minister is simply his stooge, a fellow clansman, a mouthpiece from Mswati. Cleophas Sipho is a stooge of Mswati. He will do and achieve nothing as Prime Minister of Swaziland. He won't deliver what you want. What you want is democracy, self-rule. He won't deliver it. William Dlamini presides over a police force that has been butchering and killing your people. He too must go. The entire clan, the Dlamini clan, they must go. Skanyiso Dlamini, the spoiled brat who spends her holidays in the UK. She's forever living in the UK. That spoiled brat must go. And I would love that when that the father of that spoiled brat is removed from power, she should go somewhere and mop floors. Let her be made, become a maid somewhere, so that she can know what work is. Because that Skanyiso Dlamini has never worked a single day in her life. Yet she lives large. She waxes in luxury. And that is what hurts the people of Swaziland. A small clan that waxes in luxury, driving the latest Mercedes-Benz, Rolls-Royce Phantom, Mercedes-Benz G-Class, BMW Dolphins, X6, living at large at the expense of the majority of the people of Swaziland who have been dying at the hands of Mswati. So the appointment of a new prime minister is nothing. You must reject that. You must reject the appointment of a new PM. The prime minister will do nothing. That's why in Africa, we have no prime ministers. I think Swaziland is the only country where you have a prime minister. There is no other country in Africa where you have a prime minister. Even here in Zambia, when we were winning independence in 1964, our founding father, he just died recently. May his soul rest in peace. He was first referred to by the British as prime minister. Why? Because a prime ministerial system assumes that you have a head of government who is the king or the queen. So the British still wanted us Zambians to think or feel as if we are under the Commonwealth. And they wanted to call our leader, President Kaunda, a prime minister. Even he refused. Even Mugabe, the moment they won independence in 1983, he refused to be called a prime minister. Because a prime minister is only a stooge and a puppet of a king or a queen somewhere. In this case, your Cleophas Sipo is simply a stooge, a mouthpiece of King Mswati. He will do nothing. He has no powers. You must refuse that. Then your Mswati has again gone on to call for what he calls a... What is it called? Somololo. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but this is a festival of so-called of praise. He's coming up with programs to make you feel as if he wants to reconcile with you, as if he has developed a soft spot or a soft heart for you. No, Mswati is a hardcore dictator, a brutal dictator who has seen blood flow, and that hasn't moved him. The so-called Somololo Festival of Praise must be rejected. It must be abashed. We have also here in Zambia what they call a National Day of Prayer. A National Day of Prayer where demons and devils gather to pretend as if they are holy and that they mean well for the country. I'm sure if even for you in Swaziland, what the so-called Somololo, which was called for, I don't know if it's Shimololo or Somololo, which was called for by King Mswati, where he said you must gather and praise and pray for peace and reconciliation. You can't reconcile yourself to a dictator, Mswati. Mswati, you can't reconcile yourselves to a dictator that has spilled blood. There can be no negotiation with a dictator that has killed 150 people, Mswati. The only thing that he can do is leave. That is what you must call for. You must call for the fall of the monarch, of the dictator, and the entire Mswati clan. Nothing. No Somololo, no Sivaya, no reconciliation. Even the money that he has promised to pump in the Swaziland economy, he's only doing it for his Chinese friends. Because you broke shops, you looted, you set them on fire, which is very good. I congratulate you for that. Now, because his business cronies, the ones that give him money for him to live in luxury with his wives and concubines, they are crying because their stores and malls were burnt. The Chinese. No, so he said that, so we are putting besides a fund from his pocket, from his Swiss account. He wants to put besides money to help reconstruct the damaged property. And he wants the government, also the Swazi government, to put something there to make sure to say that his cronies, his Chinese cronies, have their shopping malls rebuilt. That doesn't help you. That reconstruction money is not for you. It's for his business cronies that have helped him stay. Because you know, business doesn't know anything about democracy. Business doesn't care about what you are fighting for as a Mswati, which is democracy. They don't care about that. They don't give a damn about your lives. They only give a damn about profits. Everywhere around Africa, most businesses don't care how the people live. As long as they're in business with the government, they're getting contracts and they're getting stinking rich and they are sharing their loot with the government of the day. So, that money which he said is going to, which Mswati says is going to put aside for the reconstruction of the economy and for the industries and for the shopping malls that were burnt, is not for you. It won't help you in any way. Imagine, he also has to receive COVID vaccines for free. So what is he going to give to you? So abash Sivaya, abash Smololo, abash economic stimulus package, abash the appointment of Cleophas Sifo as the new prime minister, stooge and puppet of Mswati, abash sport brat Skanyiso Dlamini, who's living in luxury in the UK at your expense, abash your police commissioner, William Dlamini, who has presided amongst, he was presided under the most brutal and bloody regime, the killing of innocent Mswati, because you're protesting for democracy. Abash the king and clan of Mswati. Continue the fight for democracy. You can rest, but don't give up. Rest, but don't give up. Don't retreat. Step back, breathe in, reorganize, and march forward. That's how winning is done. That is how you're going to liberate yourselves. And we'll celebrate with you once that king leaves that throne. We'll celebrate with you. And we will come and repossess those mansions which our government has used with, which the Zambian government has used with stolen money. You also help us recover the loot that has been invested in Swaziland from money stolen in Zambia. We also want you to investigate Inyati Construction, which has helped this PF government to steal money. They were given a contract to construct a 50-kilometer road between Ndola and Mufrila, my hometown, and it's never been done. It's only gravel. So we stand together because the problems that we face as Africans, as Swaziland, as Zambia, as South Africa, we face the same poverty, the unemployment, the breakdown of healthcare, education, and infrastructure. We suffer from the same brutality of kings, queens, presidents, and prime ministers who do not want to leave the throne, who do not want to give way for the people to govern themselves democratically. So we are with you. We are in solidarity with your struggle. We might be quiet because we have our own struggles here, but from time to time, we always find time to stand with you, to pray with you, to mourn with you, to fight with you, until that day of freedom comes to Swaziland. Thank you very much for listening. If you've just joined me, please like and share this broadcast as much as you can. If you're a Pan-Africanist, doesn't matter if you're in Nigeria, South Africa, South Sudan, Liberia, I know I've got comrades in all those countries. Please share this. We owe the people of Swaziland our voice and support and solidarity. In as much as when we are in trouble, we will require the rest of Africa and the international community to come to our aid. Solidarity forever. Abash intimidation, abash monarchy, abash Mswati. Long live the struggle, long live the people of Swaziland. Thank you very much. If you're on YouTube, you find this video uploaded on YouTube. Just go to Mainda Simataa on YouTube, subscribe and ring the bell so that you can get future updates. Thank you very much for listening. God bless and may the struggle continue. A luta continua.